All righty. Good day, my friends. My name is Tracy Repchuk, and I'm the host of Reach Millions TV, an entrepreneurial lifestyle and learning channel where I will educate and introduce you to some of the powerhouses in their fields. As an entrepreneur for over 37 years, I've had the good fortune to appear in Forbes over 27 times, speak in 39 countries, appeared on NBC, ABC, Fox, CBS, won awards from the Senate, the Assembly, the White House, and President Obama. And I've written 9 #1 international best-selling books. And along that journey, I was able to reach millions with my message. And so I know how important it is for you to be able to do that too. So I am doing that with specific trainings and, more importantly, introducing you to people that can help you to find more leads, make more sales, and reach millions with your message. You can find out more about me at tracyrepchuk.com and reachmillionsacademy.com. Now, today I am joined by the amazing Jennifer Diepstraten. So Jennifer trains the most successful coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs to craft and sell extremely desirable offers. Jennifer has 20 years experience in sales, relationship coaching, and communication studies. So she understands what it really takes to inspire people to take decisive action. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Tracy. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Now, one of the things I saw was you hold a biopsychology degree from Vassar College and a master's of science in traditional Oriental medicine. How do you go from there to being the founder and CEO of High Ticket Sales Success?
I love that question. I've wondered that same thing. So I've always been really interested in what inspires people. And I think even from a really early age, I remember coaching my mom. She was about, she seemed much older at the time. So of course, now in retrospect, she was probably the age I am now. And she was saying to me, honey, I really want to go back to school and get my doctorate, but I'm already, I don't know how old she was, not normal college age. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, but Mom, you're going to be that age anyway. You might as well go do it you enjoy. And she was like, oh, you're right, honey. She went back to school. She got her doctorate of education. She became high school principal. She worked in the university level. Very happy with that. And so I just remember looking back, and I think this is why I went into biopsychology in my undergrad years. What does it take to really live our life in a fulfilling way and to actually act on, not just think about or dream about or wonder about or wish about, but act on what really lights us up.
Well, and that's awesome that you helped your mom to take that next step. And then now where did the Oriental medicine come into play? Was anyone sick that you were, or you just had a general desire to really take a look at the health and how, we're able to really regulate that ourselves?
Well, I just remember around that same time, I'm 8 years, couldn't get out of bed. And 2 months went by and finally she ended up in the hospital. And I remember going to visit, she's, maintaining her health quite well. She's still with, thank goodness. And, but she came down with an autoimmune disease at the time. And I remember walking through the hospital and just seeing this, it's 8 years old, these white walls, big, tall ceilings of fluorescent flickering lights, and thinking, I really want to help. I want to help. I want to be able to make a difference with her, And so I became very interested in health and medicine. I wanted to go to medical school. I interviewed at some of the best medical schools in the country, but, I never did get into one of those traditional medical schools because I wanted to change how medicine was done. I wanted it to be more about wellness and less about sickness. And so I ended up going to Oriental Medicine school. I got my degree. Along the way, I had my first son, and I realized that the business, I became very business minded somehow during that time. I Saki's book, 20 something years ago, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I remember thinking, I don't want to build an S business. I don't want to be self-employed. And I could see that there was so much more in store for me. And so while I loved acupuncture, and I'm still very health-minded to this day, which is partly why I'm so great at helping health coaches and health professionals with their sales. But all along the way, how I was actually feeding myself and making money was I was in biotech. I was in health sciences. I was selling scientific equipment to medical people, to scientists, working with doctors and clinicians, and became really a star in the companies I worked for in the sales area.
Mm. So I like that, because that's where then you've sold over $14 million in products in 10 years, working for the multi-leading kind of multi-million, billion-dollar biotech companies. So how did you how did you get into those companies?
Yeah, I was a smart kid, so shy. I did my undergrad at Vassar,
Mhm.
and very just so afraid to talk to people. And I remember when I got out of college, I had this opportunity to work in a scientific lab, because that was, my degree, my undergrad was around science. And then I had this opportunity to go work for one of the manufacturers of this giant piece of equipment that I was working with every day. And I remember thinking, I could go and they needed salespeople who were technical, who understood the science and could represent their equipment. But to me, talking to people that I didn't know was the scariest thing I could think of. So I decided to do it. I went into sales because it terrified me, honestly. And I knew that if I got over it, if I could figure out conversations with people that I didn't know and get them excited about shifting something in their life or in their lab, and taking that action, that it would change my life. And it did.
Yeah, that's a funny story, because when somebody meets me, and probably when somebody meets you, they don't think of us necessarily as introverts, right? I'm actually an introvert. I'm a computer geek. I got a degree in computer programming. I'm an accountant, a certified management accountant. But when people see us, because we've been on the stage, and I'll say we're pretty good at selling, they think that it was a natural progression, whereas like you, it wasn't for me either. But I was in a situation where I had my software company and the salesperson left, and I had to step up, right? I had to move from the back office to go and meet with clients, sell the software, get out on the road, do trade shows, all of that. And, when it's a level of necessity, you got to do what you got to do. But I actually learned through that process that it's not that I loved sales, it's that I loved helping people with the stuff that I had with, in our case, it was software products. And I think when people reframe the concept of selling and what they're doing, it just makes it a heck of a lot easier to be passionate about that process.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a corporate environment. There was, it was male dominated industry. There was 50 salespeople. Two of us were women. Of course, we were always at the top. But we didn't sell the same way. And I learned all of those, I went to all of the selling skills schools and all, get the close and handle the objections. And I learned all of that stuff, but I felt like it didn't really fit my personality very well. And what I realized is that it really was about creating a relationship with someone and helping them be served at the highest level for whatever it was that they needed. And I was okay with, now don't tell my boss this because he'd probably freak out, but I was really okay with not winning that sale, so to speak, if it didn't truly serve. Now I was always committed that they really understood what I had. And I was very passionate about understanding what did they need and showing how ours really did serve them, whatever it was that I was, representing. But ultimately, if what I had wasn't what they needed, I'm not going to shove it down their throat. That doesn't help anyone. That doesn't serve anyone. And so I was able to really cultivate relationships. I remember at the end of the year getting a call from some of my clients. One of them said, Jennifer, I've got $50,000 left in my budget and I need to spend it. What have you got? Because the trust was there. They knew that I would give them, we would have the conversation to see what they needed. And if I didn't have anything, I would probably refer them to somebody. Of course, we could usually find something.
Yeah,
but the trust was built because of that commitment and the service that really was there.
Very key. And another thing that I loved about what I learned about you was your husband, you and your husband work together, right?
Yes.
And that's similar to me and mine. My husband actually joined my company in 1992. I had started it in 1995. And for those who cannot fathom working 24/7 with their spouse, tell us about that experience for you.
It's extraordinary. My husband is, I really feel like what we have is a creation. It's a co-creative choice, right? It's not easy every day. It's not all puppy dog tails and roses. We have arguments, we disagree on things, but what we do have at the core is two things. Number one, we have a bigger vision of what it is that we want to create for our lives. And that is the filter. We call it the we, right? There's this third entity, if you will. There's what he wants, there's what I want, but then there's what we want. And we both know that we is a lot bigger than me and a lot bigger than him. And so we allow that to be the filter through which we make our choices. And then
I love that's such a great way to frame that relationship. And I think it's a good thing to look at overall, right? As far as marital goals, relationship goals, parenting goals, having those three identities of the me, the you, and the we trumps all.
Well, and it's true. And if you want to be a great CEO of your company, you better create a we with your team, because otherwise they're your lackeys and you're having to tell them what to do. It's not very much fun. It's so much more exciting to have the whole team. Like my team pulls me. Mm-hmm. The more I can let go of the reins, I create the vision, we co-create the the more I can let go of the reins, the more they pull the wagon. And I'm just like, woohoo, look what they did. So that's the first piece. And then the second piece, and my husband says this all the time, you can either have your relationship or your opinion.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Pick one.
Yeah. Which do you want?
So at the end of the day, when I know I'm right, I'm right. I'm like, of course, he's right too, right? He knows he's right too. It's like, okay, well, what's more important, right? At the end of the day, life is short.
Right. Very cool. I love that. Now there's something that you say, and it's, how do we double our fees without giving away more time? Tell us how to do that.
Yeah. Here's the key piece is you need to understand that there are at least 5 unique and specific and highly attractive things about whatever it is that you do, your offer. 5, not 1. There's not one unique selling proposition. There are 5 unique and highly attractive things about what you do that when you look at those 5, it's like a constellation or a fingerprint. Nobody has those same 5. So even if you're in an industry where there's 10,000 people doing what you do, when you can put your finger on what those unique things are, nobody can touch you, right? And then you can command the fees that you want. You have more confidence around what you sell. People understand that you are the solution and they don't have to check out your competition. It changes everything in sales.
Love that. Off the top of your head, do you know what your 5 are?
Yes, I do.
Let's hear this.
Okay. So what I'll tell you is the first thing is I help you to raise your fees without giving more away. Okay. So if you have a program or a product or something that you sell and you want to raise your price, most people will add more stuff to justify why they're charging more, right? More time, more handouts, more done for you services. No, you don't need to do that. Okay. What you need to do is you need to understand the 5 things that make you unique and specific and highly attractive, right? So that's one. The second thing is that we help you to be more confident selling through our core process. It's called the quantum benefits process, where you understand you have an internal shift in your own relationship to the value you provide. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so when you do that, you have confidence to shout from the rooftops what you have. And I could go on, but those are the main 2, of course. And then the third thing is, how do you know what to say? Mm-hmm. And then when to say it? So your ideal client actually says yes to you at exactly the right moment. Like you have to know what to say and how to say it. Otherwise, most amazing thing in the world, but nobody else knows what it is. That doesn't work.
I love that. And so one of the things you also said was, how do we have 90% of our ideal prospects ask, how can I work with you just at the right moment? So you're perfectly poised to make a jaw-dropping offer. Mm-hmm. What is around that?
Yeah. Well, here's what I learned when I was so shy that I couldn't talk to any of those super awesome scientists is that it was much easier for me to ask them questions than for them to talk. than for me to talk, being a shy person that I was. So here's the thing. If you learn to ask really great questions, your ideal clients will actually sell themselves right into what it is that you have to offer. So you need to ask great questions, but it's not just any old great questions. They're questions that are designed around understanding whether they're a fit for your offer and removing objections that could potentially happen before they even come up. Okay. So I learned this when I used to sell scientific equipment, because the industry that I was in, people would get a grant like once every 10 years for some big piece of equipment. The last thing that I sold were microscopes to research scientists. Some of them were as big as a room, and they would get the grant and they would call all of the vendors that had something in that category, of equipment. And then we would put us all in a room together and we would have to demonstrate. So super, super competitive. Either you got the deal or you didn't get the deal. So what I learned was that I knew what my competition was going to say about my system. So if I could, I would get in there first and I would preempt all those things that my competition was going to say the next day. So by the time my competition got there, the scientist would be like, oh yeah, I've heard that, but I already know that that's not true about that system because Jennifer explained this to it was just this very strategic, reverse backwards designing of what I would say that I learned over time. And now that's how I teach my clients. It's like, if you understand what are probably the objections people are going to have, you can actually remove them before they even come up.
I love that. I love that. So give us a sentence. What is something you would have said about your equipment?
Oh man, now we're going back in the archives.
Okay. Or what do you say about you now then? Make it about now.
Like, wow, Tracy. Okay. All right. So here it is. So a lot of people have been through sales training before.
Yes.
They've gotten a script, even a high ticket selling script, and it doesn't work for them. Right. So what I would say is, hey, so here you are. Maybe you've already been through some sales training. You have a script. It feels weird. It feels pushy. It doesn't feel like you. So what I do is I help you understand a blueprint. It's a framework for how to have a conversation, but we're going to customize it for your business so that it feels natural. It is natural and it actually works.
Perfect. Love it. Again, it's about like you say, bringing the elephant in front or bringing their situation that everybody will have been through. I know you've had your websites done for the umpteenth time, or I know you've, right? So you're really addressing that major issue and then almost scoping around what it is that you do differently. And that's a great tip that somebody could literally look at what they're saying right now and change it. Love it.
Absolutely. I call it the common mistake language, so that you all can take this from the show today. What you want to do is you want to think through, what is it that you're offering? Like, what's what's one of the benefits? And then what's the mistake in thinking that most people have around that? Okay. What's the mistake in thinking? And then you want to address that real early in your conversation or in your marketing, actually.
Love it. Yeah. Line 1. There we go. You might be thinking.
Exactly. Hey, if you've run into this situation before, then you blah, 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 and people are like, oh my gosh, how did she know that about me?
Right. Oh, very good. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for being on Reach Millions TV and sharing your amazing story and the insights that you have with our followers. What's the best way for viewers to kind of connect with you and continue this conversation?
Yeah, I have got an amazing downloadable free copy of my ebook for you. It's 9 secrets to increase your fees and magnetically attract top dollar clients. So you can grab that at highticketsalessuccess.com/reach millions.
Oh, how funny. Awesome. That's
for
great.
you. It's a special just for your viewers, Tracy.
Very good.
/reach millions with an S at the end.
I love it. Thank you so much. Be sure to connect with Jennifer. I've known her for so many years. We've traveled in the same circles. She's absolutely unbelievable and highly redeemed and regarded in our industry. It's such a pleasure to have shared this time with you. And so thank you again. And to help you reach millions, be sure to grab my free gifts and best resources from jointracy.com. So stay tuned to this channel for more exciting episodes of Reach Millions TV here on the Live in the Hive broadcast network. So until next time, I'm Tracy Repchuk, and here's to your continued success.